Concerns grow over Modi's handling of COVID-19 pandemic as Delhi agrees to buy light machine guns from Israel. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's handling of the coronavirus crisis has been criticized by activists and rights groups after it emerged his government decided to go ahead with an arms deal with Israel worth hundreds of millions of dollars. According to a statement released by the Indian government, Israel will supply the Indian military with 16,479 Negev light machine guns, despite growing concerns over the health emergency facing the country of 1.3 billion people. The deal, worth $116 million, came as doctors on the front line in India continue to complain of a shortage of masks and protective equipment, highlighting concerns that India is ill-prepared to deal with a crisis of this magnitude. According to authorities, there have been around 469 known cases of COVID-19 in India, with 10 fatalities. But India, like several other countries, has conducted few tests and is experiencing a spike in infections. On Monday, an Indian epidemiologist said that up to 55% of the country, or some 715 million people, could have the virus, while a conservative estimate suggests India could see around 30,000 deaths by May. With concerns rising over the rapid acceleration of the pandemic and the impact it has already had on economies around the world, the thought that the struggling Indian economy could afford to absorb military spending at this juncture has left some reeling. India needs every rupee to deal with the very real danger of the coronavirus pandemic spreading in a country of 1.3 billion people living in densely populated cities and towns. As it is, compared to Europe, North America or even China and other countries in Asia, the medical system here is woefully under-equipped to deal with this emergency. This diversion of funds is deeply distressing. The weapons contract signed on Thursday was originally authorized by the Defense Acquisition Council in February 2018 and is part of a series of weapon agreements between the two countries under Prime Ministers Benjamin Netanyahu and Narendra Modi. According to India's Defense Ministry, the provisioning of this operationally urgent and very critically needed weapon will boost the confidence of the frontline troops and provide much-needed combat power to the armed forces. On Sunday, millions emerged on their balconies and many others came out onto the streets to clap and bang pots and pans in a show of solidarity with doctors, nurses and paramedic staff in what was seen by some as a grotesque PR exercise for the Modi government. But the government has also moved to shut down some 80 districts across the country and suspend interstate train and bus networks. Meanwhile, Delhi has said it would be increasing rations for the poor. India and Israel's ties have strengthened significantly in recent years, especially under Modi and Netanyahu. Though trade in arms forms the bedrock of the relationship, both countries are increasingly relying on each other or find ways to allude to their alliance. In attempting to echo calls for social distancing, the Israeli Prime Minister also suggested that Israelis stop shaking hands and greet each other with namaste instead. Last week, Netanyahu reportedly asked Modi to approve the export of masks and pharmaceutical raw materials to Israel after India had banned the export of these items to meet its own domestic requirements. India is the largest buyer of Israeli military equipment and now accounts for 46% of Israel's arms exports.